Definitely not, but I'm gonna go change it right now.
We went on that the entire time. Enough with the last one.
Hello, hello, hello. Let's go ahead and scan that QR code. Let us know you're here. Sitting down, scanning the QR code. Spencer Rathall in all white. What's up? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hi. Scan that QR code.
Yes, thank you. I'm so good. Did you get a haircut? I noticed everyone, but I like it. It's cute. I like it.
Scan that QR code. Also, remember that we do not bite up front. Come up to the front. Sit down. Hola. Hello, Tawny. Look at these two amazing chairs right here. Nice and comfortable. Scan that QR code. Yeah. Audrey has a ghost on her hat, but I swear she's not spooky. Come sit next to her. Boo. All right. Let's keep it going. Who is grateful today? Lee is grateful. I'll walk on left to Lee.
Just want to thank Chris for hosting an open house for me this past weekend, and want to thank Paula ahead of time. She's doing another one for me this weekend, and want to thank Jerica, who hosted one last weekend. I think is hosting another one for me this weekend. So thank you all for your help with my houses.
Thank you to Ruby, Emily, and my husband Ryan for hosting some open houses for me last weekend while I held one open for Lee. It was awesome.
Huge thank you and shout out to everybody who helped my clients get into their house they got locked out of last week. Zach and Jeanette and Allie, and Joe Black saved the day and drove over from Harriman and opened the house for me. Thank you.
I got to shout out Corey, as always, coming through in a pinch, coming up on a deadline, and Corey hammered down and got us our document, got it over to the other side, and we got it all resolved. Thank you. Minutes to spare. Thanks, Corey, as always.
Who else is grateful? Oh, Audrey's grateful.
I am grateful to Muna and all of the events team for all of their hard work getting this chocolate royale set up. I am so excited to go, and I hope I get to see all of you guys there, all of your friends.
Absolutely.
I am grateful for Gordon because he put on the best awards night on Friday, and it was, and Kimber too, but Gordon as well. And so thank you, Gordon.
Yes, thank you.
We get to see where the chocolate royal party is going to be. And that casino room is going to be hot. That is going to be very, very cool. Got a big patio outside it so your people can flow outside a bit for it and then come back in and do more gambling. But that's going to be a great setup and ample parking for hundreds of people. So it's going to be awesome, guys. Get your people signed up.
I am grateful for the ALC and specifically for Val for having a hike last week. It was Val, Brandy, and myself. So next time you guys need to come. It was so much fun.
Good. Love it. I am grateful for everyone that came to the Capper Mastermind as well last week. We went into our listing presentations, and just being able to see and work off of everybody's was really cool. And I went home with a lot of ideas. Y'all are very talented.
And I want to thank everybody who bought Girl Scout cookies. I've got a few more bags that haven't been picked up. So if you haven't yet, do that. And then you can Venmo me and I'll go through and double check that everybody's done their Venmo thing. So thank you all for supporting the great granddaughter.
All right. And let's welcome our guests and visitors. Who wants to introduce themselves? Hi.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? Okay. I'm talking loud. Okay. My name is Randy Jones. I own a business called Fifth and Jones Design. I specialize in interior staging, interior design. I also specialize in content creation. I brought a small stack of business cards. If any of you are interested, please let me know. I also want to let you know that I understand that not every space needs a full interior design overhaul, so it doesn't have to be like that. I realize that some of your clients just need an area fixed. So please feel free to reach out to me. I do free consultations. I will work this entire valley, so just reach out to me, let me know. Yeah, give me a call. Text me if you prefer. I'm okay with any of it. Nice to meet y'all. Thank you. And thanks to Emily for bringing me.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you. And coming right along. All right. And our cultural icon, Nick, if you would come up to the front. My mic was turned up. That's cool. Yeah, we're sharing.
Awesome. Sharon's caring. See that? That wasn't cute anyway. So since I don't see the individual that I was going to select, does that mean I get to change? Is he? But no, jokes aside, there was a list of people that was given to me that, you know, the people that continue to show up on a high level. And I see the Masons and I see Josh and Lee and, you know, Joe Black and everybody that I know that's been doing a fantastic job here in the office. So I had to select somebody different. And this individual that continues to show up on a high level, he's in the office every time that I pop in. And he's been heading up the luxury liaison. So Spencer Rathall, I'd like to pass the torch to you.
Yeah.
You gotta pick.
Speech. You got to pick which one's
While
your
you're
favorite.
thinking of it, actually, that was part of it. So Spencer really, you know, he embodies all of the culture here. It's not just one item. It's not, you know, Corey and Dave and the staff. You know, it doesn't work if you're not working all of them, you know, and so that's you, buddy.
Thanks, dude. Appreciate you. I'm going to go with communication, seek first to understand. We just need to learn how to ask better questions, understand what our clients' needs are, and you'll find success from there. So seek first to understand communication.
We'll get a new headshot, Spencer. Don't worry. You're so welcome. Both are great. All right. And our game plan going to the #1 team, y'all, in our office from 2025.
You know, we saw the Masons up there and we were like, oh, they got third. Like, there's no way that we are getting anything. And then we saw first place and we were like, oh. So that was kind of fun. Guys, and we talked about this on the hike. You guys, it's so good. Come to the hike. Get to know your community here. But for us, the #1 thing that we've done this year is like send out actual mailers and work an 8x8, which I've never actually been to Josh's 8x8 class. I only watched it, like a recording of it. So I need to make sure I'm doing it right. But Flavio has been doing these events with the Brazilian community. It's beach tennis. And so at these events, he's been gathering names, and it can feel a little inauthentic to put someone in a, which is why you have the 8x8. So we took those names, we put it in the 8x8, and about 2 weeks after the event, I sent about 60 handwritten cards in Portuguese. So what happened was a lot of them got returned because they didn't give us the right address. And I did it on purpose because Flavio then texted them and said, hey, I got the wrong address. Just wanted to send you this thank you card. So it gave us 2 touches in order to talk to them. Also, the people in this group have a group chat. And so everyone was posting, did you guys get this thank you card from the Orlandinis? And so the people who didn't and put the wrong address felt like dunces. And that was awesome. So the past 8 months, I would say the biggest thing for us has been sending out the newsletter, paper newsletter. I think we've gotten 6 that we can trace back to this alone. Did you want to say something?
From the fake addresses, right? We have follow-up events, and then we try to recapture their contact information. Again, we are noticing that people are correcting their address. So it's just consistency and just appreciating them. They'll eventually trust you. It's worth the investment.
I love it in German. Negativity was second touch.
Yes.
Just that, oh, no, just call over, check somebody.
Yeah, I'm not going to check that address ever again. So it was worth the $1 for the stamp. And then the last thing that we've done, so we've been dressing up the past 4 years. Like we do a major for the pumpkin patch event. Our family, we dress up as something and we go like super all out. So this year I decided to recycle all the effort that I put into our pumpkin patch event, and I sent out a Christmas card to everyone in our SOI. It was a lot more than our newsletters. It was a lot of money, but the organic, like legitimate touches that came from this, the texts, the posts on, social media. Oh my gosh, your Christmas card's so funny. It's so great. That really touched people. So, get your 8x8 going, get your 36 touch going, and mail out stuff. People like tangibility. Thanks.
That's so cool. There is a cool feature that's coming into KW Command very, very soon that can help us with this. It's a product called Cotality. Because of our partnership with Stone Point, we now have access to some in-house technology that we didn't have access to before. How many in the room have heard of Fellow? Fellow is essentially, a very effective predictive analytic for who's going to be buying or selling or moving in your database. Cotality also has the predictive side built into it, so it can really help you fine tune who in your database you should be reaching out to if you're not. But also it will go and look at public records to make sure that the information that you have for them inside of Command is the same information as what shows up in a public record. So that can help you guys in the future get accurate information and also predict who you should be touching bases with.
I love that. We'll keep the mic.
Okay.
Because you're next. And before we go into a little bit of a discussion, we're going to dive into some of the market stats because Josh has been working tirelessly to better your business.
I would just say, you probably don't need me up at the front of the room every single week telling you about what I've already posted. I think you guys would do a really great job if you were just once a week to commit to actually just reading through the market stats. With that, what I'm focused on is I've built a local economist and servicing agent, right? It has 3 different components to it. Number 1, it'll help you with your initial listing appointment. Number 2, it'll help you with servicing your listing ongoing professionally. And then number 3, one of my favorite uses is being the local economist. And so feeding it data that it can actually help you with your numbers that matter scripts, your social media posts, your blog posts. It could do all of those things for you. So by the way, tomorrow here, I'm going to teach you guys how to build that inside of Gemini. And then the following week on Wednesday, I'm going to teach you a little bit more about how to feed the data into this and different use cases for this, so you guys can start seeing how powerful this tool can be. One tool has 3 different components to it. So then you can just start feeding this thing into your local economist, and it'll help you with your talking points for the week. It'll also help you with your any posting that you guys want to do for the week. But what I realized, this week, Monday morning, everybody knows what time I do these things. It's far too early. Most of you guys are still sleeping. But that's what I do. I started realizing, man, I can't even read it on my computer screen. And so what I did is I'm now going to include a link to the Utah real estate dashboard. And if you want to just click on the tab over. Yeah, the nice thing about this is instead of me just taking a screenshot, I don't know if you have to refresh it. Instead of just taking like a screenshot that I'm going to copy and paste into the market report, you guys will be able to actually go to the dashboard itself. The nice thing about this dashboard is it's interactive. So if I hover over any of these spots, it's going to tell me, what the number was for that. It's a lot easier for you guys to read. You can have at it, use it for whatever you want, put it in the background of your videos if you want. But it also, one of the more important things is I always have kind of a bulleted summary of what's important, what's really happening, just at a glance. And it's too hard to read. It's too hard to read on a print job of this. And so in the market stats moving forward, you'll see this little blue link at the top, and that will be a live link that you guys can go and click on, and then you can hover through, and it's just a lot easier to see the graphical representation that way. So you're welcome.
Okay. And so before we dive into this discussion as well, let's go one more after that. I wanted to show y'all this slide. So 2 mics. It's this important, y'all. Who has heard of Compass? Okay. So Compass hasn't necessarily come out into Utah yet. However, with this acquisition of Anywhere, they are going to really make an entrance in Utah. So Anywhere houses brands like Sotheby's, ERA, Corcoran, Better Homes and Gardens, C21, Coldwell Banker. Those are some pretty powerful brands, right? And Compass is purchasing all of those. What I want to let y'all see is in 2024, Compass had just under 18,000 agents, and they were negative 314 million. They're acquiring almost 180,000 agents. Y'all, we just merged our office to be a combined 296 agents. They are trying to do that with 180 agents, 180,000 agents, right? And so that is going to be a massive, massive, massive undertaking. Something about Compass as well is that they've positioned themselves, especially in the South and the Southeast, as the kind of main voice of this private listing network, right? And they are thinking about doing it here and doing it nationwide. I want to hear from y'all because we have so many smart voices in this room, including Dave and Josh as well, that are going to help me lead this discussion. But broad listing services versus private listing services. And I also want to make sure to point out KW, if the market and the industry goes this way, we have had the KW MLS for about 12 years. And we have been perfecting that private MLS if it goes that way. But I really want to talk to y'all about how to speak to your clients and articulate to your clients when you are going to be coming up against new brands like this. So with that, Dave and Josh, back on. Help me lead.
I want to start this thing off, first of all.
Yeah.
By saying I love Liza, but she sucks at giving me directions. So I said, is there anything you want me to, cover this morning? And she goes, yeah, if you could cover the Anywhere Brands Compass thing and then lead into Josh with the stats, that would be awesome.
There was a notification.
So Josh starts with the steps. Anyway, yeah, guys, let me just tell you real quick, and I'm just gonna do a quick cursory, and I've been sending back things on files, one of which is called the MLS exclusion form. What is that?
The MLS exclusion form.
Yeah, I know. The MLS exclusion form basically is the form that we implemented a few years back at utahrealestate.com because we had some people that were not sharing their listings. And they'd go out and take a listing and not put it across the MLS. And a lot of people blame the clear cooperation policy on that form. But in fact, it was if the seller, for their personal reasons, want to keep the home off the market, not on the MLS for a minute or two while they paint a room or whatever, that was the form that we allowed them to do that with. Okay. There are some people that use that as an opportunity to try a double-sided transaction. They're not sharing the information. Okay. And so when I'm looking for those forms in a file, I'm looking A, to keep you guys from getting fines, but B, to help you guys understand what that form is about. Okay. So when we're talking the Anywhere brands and the Compass thing and the private listings and all that kind of, none of what Josh does every week up here would be possible if we didn't have a repository of information that he could draw from and analyze, right? And if you go into different areas of the United States where they do not have an agent-owned MLS or a strong realtor organization, it's the wild, wild west. I mean, you literally can go on, Zillow is the MLS in the great Northwest, and you're there with for sale by owners and all that kind of thing. And so a lot of the tools that we've worked for decades at utahrealestate.com to protect for you have created an environment that is somewhat shielded from all of this stuff that's going on. But when you get something as massive as this coming to town, you're going to be having the conversations. And so that's what Liza is making sure that y'all are comfortable. Y'all, gosh darn it. Make sure that you are comfortable with having that conversation. Okay, what does this mean for buyers? What does it mean for sellers? If they were going to privatize MLSs, I asked Liza in Tennessee, how many MLSs does she have back in the Nashville area? 4, 5, 6. Okay, you go to LA, they've got 20 to 30 MLSs in LA County. We've got 3. utahrealestate.com, Park City Board of Realtors, because they're snooty and they want their own, and Washington County, which makes some sense. Okay, they're down there and they're kind of in a different thing. But we are pretty good because we are the historical record for solds. They're not going to. When they come into town, great, they can start building a database, but they don't have the history that we have and what sales prices are doing, and all of the things that Josh talks with you every single week about are analytics drawn from what you already own. Okay, but that's the conversation, is how would a private MLS, what they are proposing is they are going to have, or would like to have, an MLS for their agents only. How would that help a buyer? How would that help a seller? And when it comes up in conversation, what are your talking points?
Oh, okay. All right. So the big thing is if this is something that we see sort of take over, that you guys are going to be in competition with agents that are going to be out there selling to their sellers and the buyers the advantages of this thing called a private MLS system. So I can't think of a lot of advantages of a private MLS system, but I've learned because of the comment browser what other people are talking about and how they're selling this. So I can create 7 talking points for you to be able to educate your sellers on what it really means to be in a private MLS situation, there are very few situations where being exclusive, meaning I'm only going to show this property to people that are within my brokerage or in this MLS. There are only very few situations where that's beneficial to a seller. It could be a high-end celebrity client, right? Or it may also be something where it's a divorce situation and they just don't want it announced in the neighborhood. But those are the only two situations that would be, I think, relevant. So what I've done is I've actually created a table for you, the risks to a seller by being in a private MLS system. There are only 3 benefits to being in a private system, and there are 7 cons, and those 7 cons are pretty significant. So I'm just going to go through these fairly quickly for you guys so you have an understanding of what these agents who are now affiliated with that company on the left and all the brands that it owns are going to be selling to their sellers. Number one.
Can I just add something real quick, John?
Yep.
Just so you know, what they are proposing has some significant changes over what our MLS does. For example, one of the things that they are removing on their MLS are days on market. Is that helpful to you? Okay, they're removing days on market. They're also removing their price drop history. They feel that that gives the seller a disadvantage when they're trying to sell their house. You shouldn't know that I've been on the market for 3.5 years at $2 million. Okay. They're also removing home value estimates. They don't want you going in there and trying to figure out and all this kind of thing. And again, in Utah, folks, the sold information is ours. You have to be an MLS member. You have to agree to the subscriber rules of the MLS in order to get access to that information. They are proposing they're not going to play. So once again, who's got the more valuable information?
Well, he covered 3 of them. So fewer buyers equals less money over time. So any system that intentionally limits who can see your home is betting your equity on the idea that their network is actually going to be enough, right? Broad public exposure has always been the best tool for discovering what the market is really willing to pay, and private systems reverse that logic by design. Private today, blind tomorrow. So this is an interesting one. If you support a model that withholds inventory now, you're going to face the same thing later when you sell a house. Now, all of a sudden, you're going to buy a house, and now you're limiting the inventory that you're going to see as a buyer through a private MLS system. An opaque market works both ways. So it can cost you on the sell side by limiting the buyers, and it can then limit your options on the buy side. Marketing pitch versus true disclosure, and this is something to be aware of. So some of the large firms right now are talking about this exclusive access, luxury feature. Exclusivity for the brokerage is not the same as an opportunity for the seller. If the script only talks about privacy and fewer price reductions or blind days on market, it never clearly states that you may net less because you have fewer buyers seeing your own home. I mean, one of the closes that we use commonly in real estate is, quicker access to more buyers means that your home will sell for more money in less time. Wouldn't you agree? Right? Hidden days on market suppresses actual data, right? So we look at our Utah MLS system. That's something that we track so we can learn about the trends in the market and what to expect. By the way, the last 3 weeks, we've seen the days on market go from 82 down to 78. Right? So we would have limited access on the data as an industry because of the suppression of the days on market. It doesn't really do anybody any favors. How about in-house double siding? So who's really winning from in-house double siding? The brokerage or the agent. If they're controlling all the listing inventory, they're controlling all the buyer leads now, the viewing gate, they're structurally incentivized to keep those deals in-house. So who benefits from that? The risk of a 2-tier market, right? So we already know office exclusives can make sense in a narrow privacy case like celebrities and divorces like I talked about, but the danger is that exception is scaled up as the default to ordinary sellers. It creates a 2-tiered system where insiders see the real inventory first and then everything else, including many of your potential buyers, they get what's left. Regulatory and legal clouds are not going to help the seller. So NAR's clear cooperation policy was adopted precisely because widespread pocket and private listings use was seen as anti-competitive, harmful to consumers. Inside of this, and I'll have the Market Center put this on Linktree, I've provided some scripts and some frameworks that you guys can work within. My recommendation is, at the very least, print off a copy of this, have it handy and read it. Because assuming the Anywhere merger does go through, you have to understand that you have Century 21, you have Summit Sotheby's, well, you have all those brands that are up there, along with Compass, you know, that are going to be teaching their agents to dispel what I feel like is the truth. And so that's going to cause, I feel like that's going to cause a backfire on the private MLS system, because it will be anti-competitive. There could be antitrust, you know, issues that are with that. But at the very least, you guys should have the framework and the scripts and the talking points to educate your sellers, because it's really about giving your sellers full disclosure on the pros or the cons, and then letting them choose instead of selling them on any one particular, you know, way of doing this business.
You know, I talk about up at Bear Lake, the Utah-Idaho border goes right through there, and you're a licensee in Utah, and you go up and you're showing houses, and somebody goes, "Oh, that one's pretty," and you say, "Oh, I can't look at it because it's across the street." That literally is the situation that's going to be coming if they privatize, and unless you play by their rules and join their team, you're not going to have access to that information, and vice versa. Okay. Some of the things that Josh was just quoting, he does so eloquently, I'm going to just put in, I printed it off 10 minutes ago type of stuff, okay? According to Zillow, sellers who sold off the MLS left more than $1 billion on the table in lost proceeds over a 2-year period. The typical loss was approximately $4,975 per home, representing 1.5 lower sales price compared to MLS listed homes. Your conversation with the seller, you will make more money. You share it with more people, you will make more money. Drexel University, the research showed that homes listed on the MLS sold for an average of 17.5% more than comparable off MLS properties. It's the same conversation we've been having about for sell by owners versus the MLS forever, but now you're comparing actual sold data, which in the future, if this were to happen and it actually gains strength, you would not have access to the sold data. Right now, they don't have access to the sold data, and you are in a strong place. But they, in their own press release, are saying on one of these papers, talk to your agent before agreeing to any off MLS marketing strategy. Ask your agent to explain in writing the risks and potential costs. Ask for data specific to your market, and ask whether strategy benefits you or benefits the brokerage. Be prepared. The conversation's coming. We're loading your guns. You're the best.
Can I sneak in for just a quick second, Dave?
I want to hear from y'all.
Well, so I have a quick thought. They covered a lot of really great statistical talking points and a lot of other great stuff. There's a core thing in my old school real estate, and that's the gift of the vision that was given to the NAR when they wrote up the code of ethics, which started in 1908. And in essence, it's a different starting point or a different cause. But the great San Francisco earthquake, everybody ran around with all their private data in their pocket in 1908, and they would make a deal with you because I like you, and I'm not making a deal with you because I don't like you, or whatever, or you'll be able to manipulate the product. And this is an extension of that conversation. We're gonna keep this group and people we like to do business with versus the general public. And so I would offer as another mechanism to really ingrain how important this is go back and read the preamble to the Code of Ethics, which is boring unless it's relevant, which it's relevant right now. And go back and read the Gift of the Vision, which talked about the reason the MLS and the National Association of Realtors and all of that was basically formed in 1908 because it protected the public from land sharks and typical business and all the rest of that. And that's a really core element to my business, right? We do this, we get to make a great living and have a lot of fun, but we do this because we get to help people run into their next dream. And that really, I think, is a huge part of this conversation that needs to make sure it's a great tool for at the front of your mindset.
I just looked it up to confirm. Compass is getting for this, and they're always.
I'm just kind of sitting here laughing with Liz because we were talking about there was a number of years ago where you would go on a buyer appointment and try to get a buyer to sign with you to have you help them buy a house. And the question was always, well, can you only show me KW listings? And like, it was laughable to try to explain at the time that like, no, we have access to all of the listings from all of the different brands and we'll show you anything that you want to see that's for sale. And it seems like this whole conversation is a little redundant because then you're going to have to sit there and say, actually, in fact, I can only show you listings from my own brokerage, which seems kind of silly. And I don't know why anyone would sign with you if that's what you're saying to them.
But, also, as Liza said earlier, the KWLS has been around for several years. If we wanted to play that game, we could. We've got hundreds of thousands of agents across the nation, and we have a listing inventory that if we didn't want to share, but is that in the client's best interest, and are we in this for the client's best interest? And so once again, philosophically, diametrically opposed to what we've always been preaching.
Anyone else have any other thoughts on this topic? Wow. Hold on.
So I get that buyers and sellers are adults who can make their own decisions and whatnot, but the way Compass does stuff, I've looked into this a couple months ago, and it just seems like such a bad idea for clients that I don't get how, when we have this fiduciary responsibility, it's even legal for them to represent people in this way. How can they do it? How are they not? I know they're constantly in court, but how are they still able to get away with it, I guess?
In your listing presentation or in your buyer presentation, sometimes this thing works. I mean, when Zach was talking, it was like, boom. I was reading Andre's lips. In your listing presentation or buyer presentation, you probably tout the real benefits to working with the largest company in the world. Okay, and that literally it's intrinsic in what we do is why we're better than everybody else. Okay, it's no different there. Is it going to put them in conflict with some laws? Probably so. In some states, there's dual agency. We have limited agency. Some people have to, all people have to agree to limited agency. That's kind of jumping. If, for example, you've got a seller that does not agree to limited agency, you've just eliminated 37,000 competing agents. Does that make sense? And so there's going to be pluses and minuses that you use in your sales talk. But again, is your sales talk what we're here for, or are we here to service the clients? And if we're here to serve the clients, what's the benefit to you? Yeah, they are adults, but if they are allowed to make a decision based on partial information, it doesn't necessarily make their decision wrong. It makes your presentation wrong.
My thought is we should all be calling the people we know that work at any of those companies and saying, are you aware that this is what they do and this is what they're proposing? And how is that going to affect your business when you're trying to sell a home for sellers or find homes for your buyers if you're on a set limited information?
Awesome. All right. Thanks, y'all. And with that, we have Muna coming up here to talk about Chocolate Royale, y'all. Also, that name is just really cool.
I'll take this. Okay, so let me mic up. Just hold this because I did have some notes on my phone that I don't want to be juggling. I've got the mom arms. I can usually open up my trunk with, groceries and everything, but this might be a little too much. But anyway, okay, so Chocolate Royale happening Saturday, March 28th at the Ballard and Draper. Who went to the award ceremony? Great. So you got to see the venue. Isn't it gorgeous? It is so gorgeous. That wraparound deck is beautiful. It's going to be such an impressive night for your clients. And this is really shaping up to be an incredible event. So casino games, great food, great people, and an even greater cause too. So it's not just the fun event, it's a reflection of who we are as KW Utah Realtors. And what we stand for in this community too. The cause that we're raising money for is an incredible cause, and we do have a couple of the directors too from Utah Parent Center that will come up here in just a moment. The slide that I sent over, can we put that up? I want to take just a moment to recognize a few of the businesses that have stepped up to sponsor this event. And you'll probably end up seeing them here in the office a little bit more. So Paramount Tax and Accounting, Intermountain Legal Services, they're a great law office that does family law just right in this area. So great resource for you. We've got the Chenoa Fund. They do 100% financing supplement. I know that Luminary can talk about the Chenoa Fund. Envision Quality Supports. They provide services for people with disabilities in our community. Salt City Plumbing, great plumbing company, and Ibex Home Warranty. They've all stepped up, so I want to give them a round of applause and recognize them. Okay, and then so I do want to have the. Do you guys want to come up here? Okay, this is Kylie and Jesse. I don't know if you remember Jesse from the Elf Brigade, so they came over. And the reason why all of this matters and the reason we are all here is Utah Parent Center. So I'm just honored to introduce Jesse and Kylie from the Utah Parent Center. So they'll take a little bit of time just to talk about what Utah Parent Center is about.
Can we please hear it for you, Muna? Oh my gosh, you're so great. We are the Utah Parent Center. If you don't know what we are, based from like Elf Brigade, and thank you so much for jumping into Elf Brigade. It is just brings such light to our community and families who really need it every year. So we are eternally grateful and to be continuing a partnership with you guys. How we began basically back in 1983 was parents who had kids with disabilities who were hitting constant roadblocks, and where do I go next? How can I handle myself in the school system when I'm not receiving support? How can I handle this legal situation? The list of items that we help families with really is like continuous and ongoing. There are no limits, and we do help serve an entire lifespan. So there is kind of a whole theory behind people are generally more likely to help just children. So we help children substantially, but it is truly like an entire life journey that we jump on, and we support the entire state of Utah. So we began as parents who said we're going to take matters into our own hands and create the resource that we want so bad. So we are a nonprofit, and everything that we offer is completely free. Did I miss anything?
No, I think it's especially relevant to all of you to use us as a resource for your families that are relocating. You'll come across people who have kids with disabilities, and they're navigating like a new school, new therapist, new everything. The list goes on and on. When you have a child with a disability, there are a million resources that you need. So reach out to us and we will guide them through and help them, and it's free. So
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. And if that doesn't inspire you to buy some tickets, I don't know what will really.
Yeah, I will. I just to like add on to some of the things, there is like something that happens. I didn't realize we are close neighbors, but I also run Brickyard Boxing and Conditioning, which is like right here. So we're gonna set up hopefully a class for y'all to come and learn boxing if that is something that interests you. Yeah, let's go. But like one of the programs that we have launched recently is adaptive boxing. So we go and we find funding. The statistics behind some of the cruelty that happens to people with disabilities is quite alarming. So we bring these adults or youth in and we train them how to defend themselves and to use it only if ever possibly needed. So that is something magical that is happening like down the street for me, guys. So if you ever want to volunteer or get involved in that, just let us know. Yamuna has all of our information. And if you or anyone in your family needs support, like 1 in 4 people in Utah have a disability. That's 25% of our population. So likely there are so many people that you know that maybe just don't vocalize it so much. If there's a resource you need, just utahparentcenter.com. Our team will take full care of you.
Thank you. Yeah, so we have an amazing team. We've got incredible sponsors that are jumping in, stepping up. So yeah, let's make sure we are talking to our clients and inviting them to this great event that we have going on. If you also know some great local businesses who might want to know a way that they can get involved, come see me or go talk to the front desk. We have a few printouts that you can take over to those businesses that will just kind of give them an idea of how they can get involved and how they can also build maybe some awareness for their business and advertise at this event as well. So yeah, tickets are $20 and yeah, come see me or the front desk for any more information. Any questions? No, we're good. Okay, thank you.
All right. And y'all, we talked about this last week as well. And Val, I have really good news because it's open to all ages. So you do not have to be between 18 and 30. So you can sign up now. But also, y'all, if you have children that are seniors in high school, if you have children that are in their 20s, sign them up, get them to sign up because this will actually change their lives. It's not just about real estate. It is about building a life by design. So sign up for that. And with that, y'all, I'm so excited to have Nate come up here because I have goosebumps just thinking about it. We have such an incredible initiative that Nate has put together for us.
You know what's so funny is I've talked in front of people for real estate stuff a million times and I don't get stage fright. And now that this isn't real estate, I'm like kind of scared. Okay, so I have a story. A couple months ago, do you guys remember when the weather was really just kind of crappy and we all had sore throats and we didn't know if we had sore throats or if it was allergies? So I had that happen, and after about 3 to 4 days, I thought, what are you doing? Your dad is a doctor with a medical clinic. Call him. So I called my dad, and in Nate fashion, I was like, hey, I'm sick. I need a Z-Pack. Just send it to Smith's. And he said, no, you need an appointment and we need to figure out what's going on. So what I did is I logged on to his telemed services. It's a clinic called Regeneration Health of Northern Utah. They've been around for a decade. And I booked a telemed appointment for the same day. And I don't know why Agents Health is like the smoke detector at your listing, right? Because we don't get sick when like things are good, when we just had a couple closings and the next one's clear to close and we've got a week, right? It's when we have 3 listing appointments that day and a whole bunch of other stuff going on. So the appointment that I had I had 30 minutes in my day. And I thought, well, I could drive to my appointment ahead of time, park down the street, do the appointment, go into my listing appointment. So that's what I did. I booked my telemed appointment. I parked down the street for my listing. In 19 minutes, I was done with my appointment with the clinic. I went and did my listing appointment. by the time I came out, I had a couple texts from Smiths saying that my Z-Pack was ready. And it was a Z-Pack, I was right, just so you know. So I called my dad after that and I said, hey, we're starting another leg of your business and we're going to open a wellness agent advantage for real estate agents. So who they are is two brands. So the first is my dad's clinic that he started 10 years ago because he hated people coming in sick and just wanting their Xanax or their Lipitor or whatever it is without trying to get to at least some sort of functional base health. So they've been around for 10 years. They've been doing telehealth since 2020 because that's honestly kind of where he thought healthcare was going. When he started his clinic 10 years ago, he found that a lot of the treatment options were actually natural supplements first, then prescriptions second, right? So we then found that there weren't a lot of honest, transparent supplement brands that were actually appropriately labeling their items, not doing proprietary blends, not saying that something is vegan if it's in a gelatin capsule. There's some big issues in the supplement industry. So we created our own. Okay, so I think my story kind of resonated with a few of you guys, but real estate agents, we're incredibly unhealthy. We are living off of caffeine, Adderall, nicotine, pure fear, right? That's all really bad for our nutrition, our hormones, our health, and your families and your clients, okay? So we wanted to create a convenient, affordable way for your agents to get healthcare. Because the other thing is we don't have insurance or we have really expensive insurance, right? So we've put together a few packages. What I did when I had a sore throat is I paid the $75 to the clinic. I paid separate for my medications, right, at Smith's. And there was no IHC bill that came 30 days later. There was no select health insurance dispute that came later. I didn't have to spend 3 hours at Instacare to talk to 4 different people. It was 19 minutes, one person, one bill, okay? Hormones. Everything that I just said, how we live our lives day to day is so bad for your hormones. And your hormones are regulating everything that you do. It's how you sleep, what you're eating, everything that you're feeling can be tied back to hormones, right? Age, I'm on hormones. I'm not young anymore. It sucks. So this program is a monthly fee and it includes your prescription shipped directly to your door and monthly consultations with your physician. The last one is the GLP-1 medical weight loss program. That is also, oh, that's small. That's $3.99 per month. That also includes your prescription. Half of you are thinking right now, well, I saw on Hulu ads that I can get GLP-1s for $25 a month. No, you can get into their program for $25 a month. That does not include the prescription, the visits, and the catering to adjust that medication as it needs to be. The other thing is what we're including with this is monthly nutritional coaching and protein powder monthly. Because some of you may have heard the GLP-1s have really bad side effects, right? Those side effects come up because people aren't eating. So if you're not getting the nutrition, you're going to feel like shit. Crap. Sorry. Okay. So we started talking to a few brokerages, and what the brokerages really asked for were membership packages, and we wanted to extend it to your families. So for a family of 4, if you're all fairly healthy, just need to have the option to do some telehealth calls. You've got kids that are back in school. They're coming home with something funky every month. This might be what works. It's $59 for one person or $129 for a family of 4. That's unlimited telemed services every month. If you're someone like me that's got a few more complex health issues that need some managing, 3 medications monthly that just kind of need some managing and some unlimited telehealth, then that would be the program. And again, there is a family package. And in the monthly, you do get discounts for the additional services. The one thing I want to make clear is you don't have to do a membership service. If you're like, I just want you guys to look at my hormones, great. We can do that on the on-demand services. So how it works is you should all have a handout. The QR code is on there, as well as the written link at the bottom. And I think we're going to put it on the link tree. Yes? Yeah, okay. So we will put it on the link tree as well. Sorry. Okay. A few things. I keep saying we. This is a standalone service that the brokerage has said we want this because it benefits our agents, business and our agents' lives overall. Okay. Your staff doesn't know much about this other than go to the link. Okay. I'm going to be your general question person for member services and any sales questions. I don't want the picture of the rash that showed up. Okay. I'm not a medical doctor. I am not in HIPAA. I don't want or need or will I ever know anything about any of that. Okay. Medical questions need to just go to the clinic. Their number's on there. I think, did that cover everything? I think. Okay. Questions. How much was the middle package? $149 for a family of 4. $169, and it's on the on-demand side. So hormone optimization on demand is $169. GLP-1 medical weight loss is $399, and both of those include prescriptions shipped to you. Good question. There was Spencer. So the clinic is HSA approved, not FSA approved. And the clinic side, Regeneration Health, so the telemed does not run through any insurance. That's why we're able to keep our prices so low. If you have insurance, great. You're going to use that for, hey, I'm having chest pains, go to telemed. And they say, yeah, go to the hospital. That's what your high deductible or catastrophic is for. But it won't be applicable for this. Does that help? Correct. Yep. So in my example, I have a high deductible plan, but it doesn't make sense for me to spend the $200 to go to Instacare because I'm never going to meet my deductible that year. So I'd rather just pay the $75 and know it's done and over with. Yep. That does bring me to one thing I left out. So should you need labs, which you will if you're doing one of the programs, membership services, or the GLP-1 or hormone optimization. If you don't have insurance, we do have a cash discount with LabCorp. So that's an 80% cash discount if you run it through us too. So the labs are done at a discounted price also. Any other questions? Yeah. Sorry. Oh, x-rays would be something specialty. They can't do an x-ray via telemed. So they would just refer you to your local hospital or somewhere that has it. Yep. Think about the things that are keeping you from performing your best in front of your clients, right? The things that are taking you out, the things that make you like, gosh, I don't want to go to this listing appointment because I've got a scratchy throat, right? The stuff that's going to get you back into business and back in with your family. So, okay, yeah. Yes. If so one question I do get is, well, what if I choose the wrong program, right? Like what if I pick the middle one? You can't, it's impossible. Because what you're going to do is you're going to book one telemed call and you're going to talk with the physician and they're going to say, okay, that $75 is now applied to that first month's of membership. So don't be afraid to pick the wrong one or any of that. Okay. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. All right. And y'all, just a reminder, we have Wine Down tomorrow. All of the people that were given an award, we want to raise a glass to you and celebrate with you at Wine Down tomorrow. So come on, come all, and let's wine down and celebrate and raise a glass. And y'all, something was discussed and announced at the awards gala as well. And for those that don't know, Gordon Payne is over here, and he is our regional operating manager, and he has been #1 in the Keller Williams company 3 years in a row. We have a little gift for you as well. Come on up, Gordon. It wasn't one of the ones that Nate said was bad for you, but it is caffeine. So I was waiting for you to say it, but
The number 1 cat chaser. That's all I am.
yes. Just say you love us.
Well, of course I love you guys.
Okay,
That's
thank
why
you.
I'm still. That's why I'm still there.
Yeah. I lured him here today.
She did with Lee's look.
I did. He
She
was
learned
like, "You've
from
been
Lee."
learning too much from Lee," and I was like, "That's right." But yes, so
No, but-
happy that you're here.
Thank you. And honestly, that's why even though I've had multiple regional directors, I've always stayed at Utah Realtors because it's my home. So
You're our home.
thank you.
And speaking of everything home, we have Luminary Lending coming on up to give us a little update on the market.
Thank you. It's so cool to work with all you guys. Honestly, you're surrounded by such good people here, and it's really nice. So we appreciate you guys so much for letting us be a part of what you guys do. So I'm going to jump into kind of where we're at. You can see that we had a really bit of a tumble. We talked about this last week with the war that happened. Rates ticked up almost 0.25%, but it's a kind of a knee-jerk reaction that usually happens. If you go to the next slide, the same thing with the 10-year treasury. We always have these knee-jerk reactions that happen when you have geopolitical unrest. So don't worry too much about that movement. We really feel like it's bouncing back. And the whole situation here is we had two different things kind of battling each other last week. We had oil prices shooting up versus kind of what was happening with the jobs numbers we got. So if we go to the next slide, oil prices actually hit $115 a barrel over the weekend. So it was coupled with what's going on in the war and the new leader, and then it all kind of came down when they decided they're going to release more oil reserves, and President Trump said the war is going to be shorter. Anyway, we're down all the way down to $84 today on the barrel, which is more in line with kind of that whiplash that's happening. $115 a barrel is really problematic, and if it was holding there, it'd be a challenge. In contrast to that, if you go to the next slide, this is the jobs numbers that we got on Friday. So this kind of gives you a picture for the last 7 months. We've had contraction. On Friday, they actually released 92,000 jobs lost. So no jobs created. We actually had jobs lost in the previous month. And that's a big indicator for that contraction that we're talking about. Now, Utah, this is nationwide data. Utah kind of functions a little bit differently, like we always talk about. So you're not in the same boat, but it's important for us to understand, because this is what, in turn, if we didn't have all this geopolitical challenges, rates would actually be a little bit more aggressive, but they're still in a good spot. If you go to the next slide, this is our monthly housing index that we shared with you. This is kind of what's happening nationwide and then by region. Really, one of the things I just wanted to point out was contraction versus expansion. Any number that's over 50, and it's kind of hard for you to see, I know this, but you can always come talk to us later to be specifics. But in Utah, we're part of the Southwest region. We're kind of on the corner of everything. In March, buyer activity is up to 55. 55 means that's a really big expansion component. You're probably seeing this working with your buyers. There might be more multiple offers that are happening. You might have more people getting approved. We're seeing it on our end. And if you want to know more about that, come talk to us. In contrast, the price index, which is really in line with what Josh was explaining earlier, is kind of lagging behind, right? We have those prices moving, but usually it's going to take 2 to 3 months to really see the data happen when those buyers come back into the market. So there's still a window of opportunity right now to utilize what's going on as we go into the end of first quarter and go into second quarter. This is the most extensive buying season right now, is the next 90 days. So in these 90 days, there's still some advantage your buyers can take right now, but that window of opportunity is probably going to be smaller and smaller. Okay, so keep that in mind as you're thinking about what you're doing. I wanted to show existing home sales nationwide versus Utah, only because We were talking a lot last month about first-time home buyers and their percentage of the market and how they've been at 20%. Well, if you look down here on the bottom right, 34% of people that are in the market right now that we're buying over the last 60 days are first-time home buyers. Just in line with what we talked about, how there's a really niche there for you to take advantage. Those first-time home buyers are coming back into the market as rents increase and interest rates get a little bit lower. That interest rate move makes it so buying is not way out of line from renting right now. And remember, if they're renting, they're paying 100% interest, not 6%, right? Okay. Next slide. So we talked about marry the house, date the rate. You've always talked about this, and does it really work? Well, yes, it does work if you work with the right lender. This is data that we use to track kind of what's going on. I know Tori will actually, well, you actually like work your clients before you even talk to them, right? So she'll actually prepare the file, get it ready, lock the rate, do a soft, these are clients that already worked with, do everything ready so it's ready to go, and she locks them in because these windows of opportunity are always, yeah, sometimes they're only 1 day, 1, 2, 3 days, and then suddenly we have a war and we don't get that refi anymore, or we have tariffs or whatever's going on. But the point is, this is over the last 2 years. So over the last 2 years, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, there were 10 different opportunities that your clients could have taken advantage of. If your lender is not focusing on that timing that you're working with, well, they're missing the opportunity to help your clients. And you really want that relationship that you build with your clients to extend beyond that 7-year time frame that they're actually going to call you again and do another deal. We usually talk to your clients about 2 or 3 times during those 7 years for different financing situations. They'll reach out to us for whatever's going on. Maybe they need to take cash out, or they want to whatever's happening. So we want to make sure that you're being taken care of. So come talk to us. If you don't have this type of data happening on your sphere of influence or your database, come talk to Tori or Crystal so we can help you. If you go to the next one. Just want to emphasize we're doing Why Luminary this month. So last week we talked a little bit about open houses. Tori is painfully available. We'll come to your open houses. We'll help you with marketing material. But another real good tip about Luminary is credit repair. How many of you guys have done credit repair? Meaning I needed credit repair, or been in a situation where you had a mistake on your credit or anything like that that happened with your credit. You might have been in a situation where, oh, I'll call this credit company and they're going to charge me $100 a month, or it's going to be a $3,000 fee, or whatever it may be. We do free credit repair. We analyze your client's credit when we do a pre-approval for them, and we'll actually change their credit and get them ready to buy. In fact, I don't think Lisa's here right now. No, Lisa's not here right now. We go to the next slide. Lisa had a client that came to us. Their score was a 550 credit score. I mean, you can still get an FHA loan, but you're not going to get very good terms. We built a whole plan for them. It was a 4-week turnaround for their plan. They had to take certain steps, and we go pretty systematic into it and analyze what's going on. And after those 4 weeks, their credit score was a 630. They're on a contract right now. Their file's ready for a clear to close, and they're going to close this month and get a house. So if you talk to clients and they say, oh, my credit union said my credit score is not good enough, I can tell you the credit union is not going to take these steps to improve their credit score. And everybody gets stuck like, oh, if my credit's not good enough, there's no way I can buy a house. Well, come talk to us. Let us know what we're doing. Tori loves credit repair. It's her hobby. But we run different analytics and make sure that we can take care of those clients to give you those opportunities for clients that you thought were not able to buy. So go back into what you had before. And if you have clients that were out of it, we can put them back into the mix. Next slide. Here's where our rates are sitting today. I added the APR just so you can understand where we sit. FHA is still at 4.875 because of the special that we're doing for you. The other rates ticked up a little bit because of what's going on. We really anticipate that kind of coming down over the next month or so as things kind of turmoil down. But make sure if you're FHA clients, these are great for first-time home buyers. Salt Lake County is up to 600,000, over 600,000 right now. Utah County is over, like the average house. There's no reason you can't get an FHA. And if you look at the APR, because we're so aggressive with it, we're offering Keller the FHA deal is very similar to a conventional. Okay, it's very, very similar to a conventional. And we'll do this on any client that you bring us that gets approved to the end of the month. Even if it takes you 90 days or however long it takes you to get them a house, we'll honor that special as long as they get approved with us in March. Okay. Great. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I know y'all want to get to lunch, so let's go over wants and needs. Who has a want? Who has a need?
Thank you. Hey, I've got a listing coming up in Tooele going live next week. 3-bed, 2-bath, single family home. Going to be listed at 380, 385. So great price, great location, unfinished basement. So if your clients need room to grow, great spot.
Not sure if it's for you, but I've used the MLS exclusion form because we're preparing the home, but the seller's willing to, take a look at offers or any interested parties if you have any. Real home, under 2,600 square feet, attached car garage, 5 bedroom bath. So if you'd like more details, feel free to reach out. 5 1/4.
Can I talk? Do I have to stand up?
Kenna in and out.
I have a client looking. No.
Yep.
I have a client looking in Salt Lake, maybe south is like 45th, at least 2 beds, up to 600,000. The things we've been saying, she just hasn't been loving. So if anybody has anything coming up this spring, she would be very interested. Thanks.
Okay, a couple things. I have a listing coming up in Garden Park. It's the 55 and older area in Daybreak. Hopefully we'll be live in 2 weeks. It's my grandma's house. We're updating the flooring and doing some repairs and stuff. And then I have a buyer looking for a 3-bedroom, at least 2.5 bathroom. They really like Sandy, or Cottonwood Heights or Suncrest, up to 625. If anyone has anything coming that I haven't seen online yet, let me know.
I've got a handful of listings coming up. The next 3 go tomorrow. A little yeah, or close to that. And then I've got a Glendale listing coming up in a couple of weeks. 2-bed, 2-bath, a stunning backyard, 2-car garage, and that will be at 450. There's one just on Emerson Ave. It's got a mother-in-law apartment ready to grow into the basement. It's a 2-bed, 1-bath main and a 1-bed, 1-bath. It's that at 700. That should be done by the end of the month. And another kind of mother-in-law situation on 8th East, Central City. That is a 3-bed, 2-bath, 2-bed, 1-bath up, 1-bed, 1-bath down. And that'll also probably be around 700. I've got a buyer who wants mid-century modern, East Bench, wants it pretty original, not too many updates. And so, coming up, please let me know.
Or you can just ignore all of that because Liz already sold all of his listings. Just kidding. We have a couple of listings coming up. One is a single family home over here on 9th and 27th. It is a 1-bedroom with a little den, a huge backyard, really cool little property. That is going to hit the market at 400, and the seller is open to selling it off market. So if you have buyers looking, come and talk to me. Another one that we have coming up is in Lehigh. It is a single family home in an HOA that is $7 a month. You know, it's hugely expensive. It has a 2-car garage, 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms upstairs, Rambler style. And the basement has the family room finished, but room for 2 additional bedrooms and another bathroom downstairs. And that one is going to go live on the market around 500. So if you have buyers looking, please come talk to me.
Lindsay has one in Sandy at like 8260 South, 560 East. It's going up tomorrow, 525. One owner, single person, no dogs, no pets, open house Saturday.
I have buyers looking in Provo. They would like a single family home, 2,400 square feet minimum. They are not picky on age. They just have outgrown their townhouse, and we are looking at everything under 575. So it's possible, but it is rare.
A couple of weeks ago, I talked about a commercial office in Sandy for 230,000, and a couple of people said, "Yeah, let me have some information," and then they left, and I can't figure out who it was I talked to. So if you have a buyer for a $230,000, 950 square foot office in Sandy, cute little spot, 2 offices. Anyway, good little deal.
Hey, so I just wanted to come today. The worst nightmare for a rep happened to us an hour ago. What do you think it is? We show up to Olive Garden, they're like, what, today? We have it down tomorrow. So Kaya was there sweating bullets calling me. But anyway, she pulled it together and I ran up here because we didn't know how this was going to turn out. But we got it figured out. But anyway, I just want to tell you a quick story. So I don't know if I've shared it with you. I don't tell a lot of people. I want to tell you just kind of how IBEX came about. So I started selling for Keller Williams in 2004 up in South Ogden, and she wasn't born. And I used to go show houses in an old pickup truck with AM radio and no air with the windows rolled down so she wouldn't get too hot, and carry her in a little basket showing houses. So she kind of got into real estate at a young age, but when I was young, that's how I did it. Anyway, sold for 18 years. 9 years ago, a skinny bald-headed guy, he's the eye candy of IBEX, Chad Holmes, invited me to chuck around with my brother Preston in South Ogden. It's booth number 2. We have a picture of it in our office, but that's where the magic happened. It was in a chuck-a-rama. No one had ever thought of opening a home warranty company. No one had talked about it, but we were sitting in the booth. Chad's company got bought out, and someone brought up, said, hey, why don't we start our own home warranty company? Now, Chuck-a-rama is my favorite restaurant. My wife will go there once a year on my birthday, and she calls it Up Chuck-a-rama, but I love it. So, but when we started this, and I'm serious about this, you guys, I worked in real estate for 18 years, and we started this company and said, we have got to do something different. We just can't be like the other 18 home warranty companies out on the market. I have dealt with these people for 18 years, and we've got to do something different. So I'm just telling you that we meet weekly, and we try to figure out how to become better. When people call me and give me feedback, I write it down, I take it to these meetings, and I really take it to heart. Every week, the number one thing we try to get better on, what do you think the number one thing we try to do? Response time. Yep, speed of service. That is the number one thing that we do. Did you know 75% of our contractors are our employees that work for us? 100% of our plumbers are our contractors. So that means we're not competing with their own clients, and they can get out there quick and they can get out there fast. But I just want to let you know our commitment as owner operators, as a family, as a local business. We want to be the very best company out there. We want to be Chick-fil-A. We want to be Starbucks. We want to do everything we possibly can. And if we make a mistake, let us know. I'll move heaven and earth to make it right. I promise you. We try to hit 100, but sometimes we screw up, right? But we are committed to it. We were started by real estate agents. We're local. Again, Chad's the eye candy, so he should help sell it. And if you ever want to go out to lunch, I'll take you, but I get to pick where we're going. And guess where we're going to go? Chuck-a-rama. Okay. All right. And that's it. And this is Kaya. For everyone knows Kaya, right? So, okay. Thank you.